Hello, this is Bin Song. I'm a Confucian scholar, therapist, and a college professor in the disciplines of philosophy, religion, and theology. This video is for you to understand the question, is Confucianism a religion? I hear this question for many times during my teaching and during my interaction with the people who started to learn Confucianism. There is really no fixed answer to it, because it depends upon how you define religion and how you understand the Confucian tradition. I make a poster in my website, and in the poster, you will find all the necessary major information, major knowledge of Confucianism to help you to decide how to answer this question. So, if you go to my website, I write down the address of the website below the video. If you click it, you will find the poster, and I show the poster in the video. So let's start from the right beginning. In the question, I said Confucianism or Ruism is another name, another term. Ruism is a living tradition with more than 2,500 years of history and abundant inner diversities. The following answers are mainly based upon the classical and new Confucianism in ancient China. You know, this is the trick of the answer of this question. If you want to talk about Confucianism, you must specify which period you are talking about and which area you are covering. Confucianism has so long a history, and its impact reached out to so many different countries, areas, and continents. So that in order to answer this kind of broad umbrella question, you must be very specific. So I choose these two specific periods, the classical and the new Confucianism in China, because they are the most influential one. All the other major developments of Confucianism are more or less impacted by these two periods. Okay, let's move on. So the first question we needed to understand to furthermore answer the overall question is does Confucianism believe in a God? I write the answer as such. The faith upon a supreme deity does not play much role in Confucianism. Instead, Confucianism believes that the Tian, an all-encompassing, constantly generating cosmic power, is the origin of the world. Tian's power to dynamically and harmoniously fit everything in the universe together is called Tao, or the Way. However, whether this way can be successfully implemented in human society entirely depends upon human efforts. So in a very broad sense, we can say there is a God in Confucianism, and its name is Tian, and Tian's translation can be heaven, cosmos, or universe. But interestingly enough, this Tian is not personal, it's not a theism, it's not a deity, it's a cosmic power, it's a cosmic field. It has a creative force to harmonize and create everything. Here, harmony means to have everything exist together. Right? Think about the entire universe, everything in the past, now, and the future. If we see them from an eternal perspective, they exist together. So this is the broadest sense of harmony human can envision in the realm of Tian. But how you can implement this harmonizing force of Tian within human society? According to Confucian tradition, this entirely depends upon human efforts. I believe many listeners or many audience in this of this audio also know something about Taoism, right? So the term Tao, the way here, is indeed shared by both Taoism and Ruism, Confucianism. But the crucial difference between these two traditions is that Confucianism has a very strong humanistic emphasis. It says, yes, The way creates everything. It is the ultimate source of the world. But how you can implement the way in human society, according to Confucianism, entirely depends upon human efforts. Right? Okay, the next question. Does Confucianism has a Bible? The answer is yes. Among varying ways to canonize the Confucian text, there are 5 classics and 4 books. The 5 classics was compiled in Han Dynasty around the 1st-2nd century CE, and 4 books a little bit later. Right? It's Great Learning, Analects, Mensa, Centrality, and Commonality. 4 short texts. It's compiled by a great scholar called Zhu Xi. It's a new canon. It's created around 10th or 11th century. So there are canon systems in Confucianism. Since revelation by a supreme deity does not register prominently, Confucianism does not see these classics as holy in the sense of being revealed by a god. Instead, these classics are enshrined writings of wisdom, which are authored or compiled by ancient sages to guide humans to realize the cosmic way in human society. Yes, they are scriptures, but they are not revealed scriptures. They are written by human beings, extremely wise human beings, to guide later generations to implement, to realize the cosmic way down in human society. Are this a Bible in the Christian sense? On the one hand, I would say yes, because Confucians take this classic extremely seriously. They are enshrined writings. But on the other hand, they are not revealed text. They are written down by human beings, right? So, is this a religion? You decide. Next question, is there a church? I say no. Confucians or Ruists does not support spiritual life isolated from secular institutions. So, according to modern political principle of separation state of church, right? Normally, people understand the church is a private area of human life. They are about the other world, afterlife. This is a spiritual world. It should be separated from the public area of human life, right? So this understanding of church does not quite fit into the institutional basis of Confucianism. So let's continue. Why I say so? Because to honor ancestors, Confucians go to an altar installed within their family. To venerate Confucius and other ancient worthies, they go to schools and business guilds. To pay tribute to Tian, the universe, they pass civil examination and get appointed as high-ranked governmental officials. Accordingly, there is no distinction between priesthood and lay people. Ruists need to learn and work very hard to become a respected leader in family, school, business, and government. Right? So there is no separated religious institution from the secular world. There is institution like a family, school, business, and government, but they are extremely down to earth. They are about the details of humans' everyday life. Is there any ceremony conducted in these scenarios, in these scenes? Yes, there are. Like the ritual to honor one's ancestors. It's usually called the ritual of ancestor worship. Right? And another ritual is to venerate Confucius and other teachers. All these rituals, if you say them as a religious ritual, do remember they happens in a secular setting. Something is treated extremely serious, but they are not about the other world. They are still embedded in this world. Okay, let's move on. The next question. Do Confucians perform rituals? Right? Based upon the previous explanation, yes, so many rituals. But Confucianism also understands rituals in the broadest sense of civilized behaviors. So how to sit, stand, walk, look, meditate, eat, speak, sleep, dress, decently argue, and morally act in order to live a joyful and co-thriving human life are all among the rituals that an exemplary human, the Chinese call the 君子, needs to learn and practice. So ritual, understood in Confucian sense, is so broad. It includes everything that can be described as elements of culture. As long as your behavior is cultured in a certain way, civilized in a certain way, you will be seen as a civilized person, right? So understood in this sense, one major component, one major content of people's life according to the Confucian way is try to be decent, try to be polite, try to be civilized, try to be graceful, civilized human being. Okay, the next two questions is contemporary. The first one, how many affiliates of it today? So since there is typically no separated religious institution in Confucianism, it is very hard to tell who is a Confucian according to our common understanding of religious affiliation, right? There's no separated religious institution to which humans can affiliate to indicate their religious identity as a Confucian. No such a thing. The majority of Confucian history does not show this case. However, as a living wisdom tradition, it still has a great impact on people all over the world. The best approach to find whether one can comfortably identify themselves as a Confucian is to have unhurried person-to-person conversation with them, right? So right now, if you want to practice Confucianism, you must personalize it, right? You must use your own independent thought to decide whether the thought fits you. If you think the long wisdom tradition, the growing Confucian wisdom is really helpful for you to conduct your life, right? To interact with the people, you can comfortably identify yourself as a Confucian. If you describe this as religious identity, it's fine, but it's different from the way the other religious people admit their identity, right? This is a very personalized spiritual way of living. So next one, where can I find Confucians in the US? The resource available, like my good friend Ben Butina, he and me, we founded the Ruist Association America. There's a Facebook Confucian group called Friends from Afar. It's very flourished, very vibrant. The scholarly blog, the many scholars' website like Robert Neville, my teacher, Stephen Engel, my teacher, Graham Van Norden, my best friend, Justin Timo, my friend. All these great scholars. You can find many resources on Confucianism. Okay, so let's kind of summarize. Is Confucianism a religion? You must answer this question while specifying what kind of Confucianism you are talking about, right? Which period, which area. And then based upon two periods in China, and you must break down the entire question to these several minor questions. First one, does Confucianism believe in a God? Right? They believe in a Tian, but it's not a person. And we believe the efforts of humanity to harmonize and flourish human civilization. Next one, does Confucianism has a Bible? Yes, we have canon, but this canon are not reviewed. Is there a church? No, there's no religious institution separated from the secular world. Do Confucians perform ritual? Yes, perform a lot of ritual, but we understand any civilized behavior can be categorized as a ritual. How many affiliates of today? It's hard to tell, especially sociologically. So it is relying upon your personalized understanding of the tradition. Next one, where can I find Confucians in the US? There are lots of resources. And given this basic information, my final question for you is Confucianism a religion? Please find your own answer. Thank you.